So I am Jillian, and this is my husband Billy, and this is our little guy. He's not vaccinated. My older son, who's 12, is not here, and he was vaccine damaged, and it actually started with me very similarly. So I had gone in to, I had some type of something going on with me at the time. I don't remember, and I was a teenager. It was my junior year in high school, and my mom had brought me in to get some antibiotics, and and by the way, at the time, the Hep B was not on my schedule, but they had just come out with it, and the doctor said to my mom, "Hey, there's this new vaccine out for Hep B, so do you want to go ahead and get it for her?" And she said, "Sure, if you think she should." And so, even though I was sick, which is silly, of course, but so I had, within that same day, I had a crazy reaction. My whole entire body swelled up in hives, and including my face. It was like out here, and I looked like, I don't know if you have ever seen this movie with Cher, but it was called like Elephant Man.
Mask.
And yeah, Mask, and the Elephant Man was in it, and I looked just like him. So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to know who I was, and it took so long. I actually missed a whole month of school. And so I was a little bit paranoid with my son because of that, and had asked them in the hospital, hey, you know, I had a really bad allergic reaction to this. Is there any chance this could happen with him? And they, of course, told me no. And they vaccinated him, and he, at first, the only thing that he really displayed was like kind of those mini, almost like seizures. I forget what it's called, but it's written on the insert, where he kind of, you know, it was like he was constantly, you know, scaring. And fast forward to his 4-month vaccines, and he got several of them. And the next day, within 24 hours, he had a super high fever. Honestly, a lot of it is a blur. It was such an emotional, crazy time for me. And they didn't know what was wrong with him. They told me that it wasn't the vaccines, or that they at least didn't think it could be the vaccines, even though he was perfectly happy going into it. And he just went from super happy and super active to completely lethargic and just laying there, like couldn't pick up his head or anything. And he was in the hospital for a full week, and they didn't even know if he was going to make a full recovery. And he did for the most part, but he was kind of different after his vaccines. But me being a young mother and not knowing any better and having blind faith in the medical community, I just said, okay, they must know what they're talking about, and I continued to get his vaccines. And I didn't put this together until later, until I really started researching vaccines a few years ago. But every single time he got a major dose of vaccines, every single time, there was 6 different times, he went to the hospital, to the ER, within 10 days with pneumonia and signs of asthma, and ended up being sick for a full month. And he has been to the hospital 8 different times in his life, and 7 times have all been within 10 days of him having vaccines. So obviously, you know, knowing that we were gonna have another baby and starting to research and everything, we learned better, and now I'm a huge advocate about the whole thing. But it's just crazy looking back on it, you know, that all this stuff was written in the vaccine inserts, and I was told every time that, you know, it had nothing to do with it, and I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. And it's like a point of serious, constant guilt that I have, but I didn't know any better. So
how much pressure have you been under with this one for not vaccinating him?
A fair amount. I think we really stand our ground, and I think everybody knows we're super duper,
We have seen the forms
Yeah.
at the doctor's office, though.
And we did the.
You've
strike 'em
seen
out.
the
We've
form.
seen them.
And you've done what Dale told you to do, and you stroke out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we understand they have to get audited too, right? And there's a lot more going on at higher levels. So although
I mean, personally, I don't understand why people even have a pediatrician. Why do you need one?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah,
we're getting
that's a
ready
great
to switch.
question.
We actually knew that we were going to research ahead of time what doctors would accept not vaccinating. And we went to a highly recommended doctor, and his nurse practitioner gave us a really hard time about it. And that's when we left. And we looked for another pediatrician. And we found her, and they're both integrative health, so they're already a little more easygoing about the whole thing. But then she just recently asked us, and I basically striked through every single thing on there and said, do not agree, and with my signature, sign under duress, so that we wouldn't be held accountable for anything, no matter what. But yeah, we've had a lot, and he has some family that's in the healthcare, industry, like doctors, nurse practitioners, RNs, etc. So I think we've done our job of making sure that we know everything up and down, right and left,
I can't believe he's such a healthy, beautiful boy. I cannot tell you, and Josh will back me up on this, I know he will. I cannot tell you how we can spot an unvaccinated baby. They are so healthy.
Yeah, and the bright eyes.
Their bright eyes, they're more advanced.
Oh yeah, and it always seems like they're
Everything going
advanced.
for them.
Everybody is always saying,
So
"Oh my
all this-
gosh,
Everybody
she's
makes
so
the same
advanced,"
comment.
and I'm
Do
like,
you know, I got an email this morning from a paediatrician who basically, fair enough, said to me, basically that I should go round the paediatric emergency rooms and tell their stories, because then I won't be telling these stories. Do you know what? I would love to do that, because
Yes.
99.9% of the parents I speak to have been in those ER rooms with their vaccine damage, so let's do it. And I was all for everything he said until he told a really naughty lie. He said the sickest kids he ever sees are the unvaccinated kids. Don't tell fibs.
yeah.
So now I don't believe you, because you took it one step too far.
Yep. Well, because statistically, I know that they haven't done any super, very inclusive studies and everything. But statistically, the little bit that's been done on it has showed that obviously non-vaccinated are far more healthy. So it's really unfortunate, and I think that a lot of people and I don't believe that doctors are trying to do anything wrong. I think that they are just so ingrained, and I think most of them don't even have any idea that the pharmaceutical companies are actually subsidizing their education.
Right.
I mean,
doctors got into their
his brother
job
doesn't
to
even
help
know.
people. The doctors got into
like,
their
what?
job to help people, and just like Della's talked about, this war is being fought on a much higher level.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to look at where the funding is.
And it's so unfortunate.
And you have to understand that the amount of money that they're spending with the people that are making laws, they're not spending this money to research and help people. They're spending the money with people
So cute,
that
people love
make
him.
the laws.
Yeah, no, you're
You're
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Now, are you going to sign the bus?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So for yourself and for your son.
Yes, I know.